Hi, my name's Tiv, and I want to tell you about the Transformers. Two races of mechanical beings from another world. There's the Autobots, the good guys, and then the Decepticons, a bunch of greedy bullies. They're all fighting over a smaller race of robots called the Minicons. Anyway, the Minicons crash-landed on Earth thousands of years ago. They're scattered all over the planet. The Decepticons want to enslave them and use them to increase their power, and I, for one, have to wish them good fragging luck with that! Anyway, right, Armada Optimus Prime, the legacy one. So, getting the smallest bits out of the way first, the trailer is compact. It looks practically like a tank in its own right, honestly. Something the treads only really reinforce, and the accompanying cab is, I wouldn't say sleek, but clearly heavily sci-fi. It's a heavy-duty cab, too. Of course, when you've got them together, it gives you that iconic look for Prime's vehicle mode throughout Armada. It rolls pretty well. I do have to admit, there are several details streamlined or omitted from this version of the design that foretells something I'll talk more about for the Super mode. Now, naturally, onto the trailer's base mode.
See, nobody cares. Nice hat. You're trying to look like a secret agent?
Now onto the real meat and potatoes. We've got his core robot mode, which has got a solid, bulky, almost wrestler-like vibe to it with its proportions. His colors are as vibrant as they come, and it's always interesting to see how, thanks to how the show models are based more on the toys than ever for Armada, he actually got to keep the yellow eyes that G1 Optimus normally only gets in toy homages. Now, as for our boy's articulation, no beating around the bush here. He's got no ace joint, thanks to the transformation. But thanks to the way his hip skirt moves, the dynamic movement in his shoulders, and those heavy leg ratchets, you can still get him into basically any pose you'd want him to be in. For comparison shots, here he is with a couple of primes from the less pricey size classes. And then with some of his fellow Armada alumni. Now, as for the best size comparison of all, it has to come down to his eternal rival, Megatron. I like how it can sort of depict an uphill struggle against the bigger machine, and I enjoy just how much this power dynamic shifts when we move into his super mode. Now, Prime Super Mode is unabashedly the sort of bot you'd see in a Super Robot Wars game. Chunky in all the right places, and now that we're finally here, the elephant in the room. While a lot of Generations releases try to replicate a design from a gamer show, Prime here feels like they went and worked up from the style guides for Armada merch to re-engineer and redesign this Optimus into an overall more refined and functional version of the concept art, as opposed to basing it on the cartoon model, the Dreamwave comic, or the original toy, which all translated the concept it was going for with varying degrees of success. Best of all, since you can see these heavy ratchets in both the arms and legs, he's sturdy, while still being plenty dynamic. I would have liked to see an attempt at a waist swivel via the sort of rotating plate like the Vance Hobby figure did, but given the stability issues I'd heard Naval Commander had, I'm more than happy with leaving it out. The only downside I'd honestly say would be the fact replacing the Minicon pegs the original toy had with 5mm ports means if you want somebody to stand in for good old Sparkplug, it might take a little work. Check my shorts for more on that. But overall, Legacy Armada Prime has done more than enough to simply blow me away, whether you're an Armada fan like me, or less so. He's just a super satisfying super robot to get your hands on, and unlike Motormaster, His big feature isn't something that requires throwing 4 more $20 tags onto the already pricey $90 USD.